Hey, hi, and welcome to A Taste of Fusion. Today, it's yet another fantastic iftari menu coming your way. I'm starting off with a glorious little chickpea salad. Why? Because I think chickpeas are completely overlooked at our table. They're really healthy and they're really reviving. So, a fantastic chickpea salad as my appetizer. As my main course, little beef medallions. Utterly delicious and delectable, and they're going to be coated with a lot of lovely herbs and spices. And for dessert, well, I'm going to be making a lovely little condensed milk bake in the oven. And for my drink, you'll just have to wait and see, but it's going to be a real fusion lassi. But now enough of me talking about it. I've got to go pick up my veg, get back to the kitchen and get cooking. Right, now for my appetizer, which is a glorious little chickpea salad. I think chickpeas are very, very overlooked. They're usually eaten in chaat or they're doused in a sauce and served up, which is very sugary or very sour. Don't want to do that. I want to bring a very light, a very easy salad to the table, which everyone will love. First of all though, the basis of any salad is a great vinaigrette. And I'm going to start off with some extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to pour about 4 tablespoons worth into my bowl. Next, to that I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. And this is very, very different because olive oil, rice vinegar, you don't really think it. But I think, you know, a little Southeast Asian flavor in something Mediterranean goes a long way. Next, I'm going to pop in 1 teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of salt, and just a pinch of turmeric. Now, I'm going to whisk this up with my fork. Once your mixture becomes cloudy, you know your vinaigrette has emulsified, and that's when the olive oil and the vinegar has merged. At this point, I'm going to add some fantastic pineapple tidbits to it. Now, this is from a tin. You can use fresh pineapple if it's in season. If not, just go out, pick up a tin, and pop in about 2 teaspoons of these tidbits. Just add that extra sweetness to your vinaigrette. And why I'm putting this in the vinaigrette and not later on is because I want the pineapples to soak in the olive oil and lend their sweetness to this. Okay, it's merging, and I'm bruising them a little bit while I use my fork to go through. Now, before I'm done with the vinaigrette, I'm just going to pop this to the side. And here I have 1 onion which I've halved. I'm just going to slice this up. And why I'm doing this is because I want this to go into the vinaigrette before it goes into the salad, because the vinaigrette will help the onion lose its pungency. There we go. So, straight into the vinaigrette. Just mix that in and let that steep for a while. Okay, so now for the next part. In my larger bowl, here I have 1 can of chickpeas. Now I've went and got the canned chickpeas because they're very easy to make, and of course, you know, you can just walk into the store at the last minute, pick them up. I've just drained them, 1 can of chickpeas into my big bowl. Just pop this to the side. Next, what am I going to put into my salad? Well, here I have a nice little mix of parsley and coriander, and this of course is fresh. Roughly go through it with my knife, and that's about 2 tablespoons of each. And immediately you can smell the parsley and the coriander coming up, the lovely, lovely aromas. It's fantastic, these fresh herbs, what they can do. This goes straight in with my chickpeas. Next, out from another tin, some artichoke hearts. Now, like I've said before, we don't get them fresh as much over here. You can find them in the interior of Sindh where they're eaten in a very traditional manner. But usually, you'll just get them in a tin, go pick them up, pop them in a salad, utterly delicious and fantastic. I'm just going to take the leaves off like this with my hands, and I'm going to leave the hearts somewhat intact. Just going to strip the leaves, not break them up too much. Of course, this is very, very healthy, and it's something completely different. So you're bringing a new flavor which you don't usually have. You're being adventurous, and of course, this is fusion, so that's what we do best. All right, I'm going to just slice this heart in half, pop the leaves in there. I'm going to reserve the hearts for the end. Next, a cucumber. I'm just going to slice it lengthways and just chop it through. This goes into my salad as well. Here I have what is known as a Chinese pear. This is our local pear, which I will use later on. But in this salad, I'm going to use a Chinese pear because it's softer and it's sweeter. So I'm not going to bother coring it. I'm just going to cut around the core. And then I'm going to slice through. Pop these slices, about half a pear, straight into my bowl. And finally, into my bowl goes some fabulous hunter beef. And I thought, why not? Why not put a little meat into the salad? Gives it a different dimension, a smokiness, a lovely bit, bite to it. So about 3 tablespoons of hunter beef just crumbled in, like so. Just mix this up. Now I'm not going to pour in the vinaigrette yet. At the time of plating up, I'm going to make a bed of lettuce upon which I'm going to place the salad and then pour on the vinaigrette as a topping on top, rather than let it sit in there and sort of permeate through all the different flavors. So that's one way you'll keep a layering of flavors happening in your salad, which makes it very, very exciting. So that's it. I'm done with the appetizer. Now it's time to move on to my main course. Right, now for our main course, which are glorious little beef medallions covered with a fantastic green herby mix. Now, what's going into my mix? Let's see. I've got some fabulous coriander parsley mix happening. I've got 2 tablespoons of that. Just going to chop it up. And I'm going to chop it up quite fine. Make sure the stalks have been cut, because this will, of course, become quite crusty and char when our beef is frying. This goes straight into my bowl. Next, I've got these amazing green chilies here, and I'm just going to finely slice up 3 of them. Just going to give them one last run through. Make sure they're quite fine. That goes straight into my bowl. And then some fabulous spring onions. Again, halved and chopped up finely as well. Now, once all these green herbs and condiments are together, we are going to spice it up with 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of red chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of cumin, pinch of turmeric, half a teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 tablespoon of yogurt. Mix it up, adding 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And then, a strange addition, I'm just going to squeeze in the juice of a pink grapefruit, but not the whole, just a little squeeze. Instead of lemon, it gives a great citrus feel to this dish. A little fusion there. Mix it up. And 1 teaspoon of capers right at the end. In they go. And use your spoon to mash them through. Right, so this is all mixed up. Next, I have these fantastic little medallions of beef, which I've cut from undercut. Just something I had left. And I kept them circular, cutting off anything around the edges. So these perfect little medallions, I'm just going to pop them straight into my bowl and coat them with this lovely mixture. Make sure they're coated well on both sides. And now I'm going to fry them up. Right, get your pan on a high flame and pour in just a drizzle of sesame oil, because I'm going to use that as the flavor in this dish, the fusion flavor. And as the pan heats up, you've got to let it become very, very hot. That's the key. And what that's going to do is basically it's going to start cooking the meat immediately, and the heat will permeate through, keeping the crust quite intact, not burning it in the process. Give it about 25 to 30 seconds. There, I think the pan is hot enough now. In goes one. There we go. I'm going to fry up the steak. Let it start going brown on one side. I'm going to throw in a dash of rice vinegar just on top to help fuse together everything. And again, this is a very quick dish. Now it's time to turn. Lovely. And there, as you can see, because of the heat of the pan, the meat is cooking without browning the green masala. Before you flip it for the second time, you can add in whatever remainder you have in the bowl, just to bring in more flavor. Try to spread it evenly between each steak medallion, like so. Flip it once, one more time. Yeah, beautiful. Now it's going to try and get you at the back of your throat, and that's basically the aroma of the chili as it's frying. At this point, just one more dash of rice vinegar. Let it steam. Turn the heat off, and then cover your pan and let the steaks cook in their own steam, and they'll be perfect. Now we're done with our main course. It's time to make dessert. Okay, now for our dessert, which is a condensed milk bake. Very, very simple. I've got this fantastic pound cake here. I'm just going to chop it up. And it's super fast and super easy. In it goes into my lovely little ramekin, right to the top. Reserve the rest for later. And into my ramekin goes oodles and oodles of condensed milk. So about 4 tablespoons. Okay. Now I'm going to adorn the top with some pistachios and some cashew nuts to give it that very festive, fantastic look. And that's it. It goes in the preheated oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, so that's in the oven for a good 10 minutes. Now, I'm going to make my fantastic little drink, which today is a pineapple lassi. Yeah, now I've done a lot of lassis also because I just think that yogurt and pineapple goes phenomenally well together, and it's a nice little change. Of course, this is not real lassi, this is fusion lassi. So, about 4 tablespoons of chopped pineapple tidbits into your little blender bottle. There we go. And 3 large tablespoons of yogurt. Now I'm going to add a little cream to this because this is fusion, of course, and I'm putting in 4 tablespoons of cream. I'm also going to add 3 teaspoons of sugar, like so, and a squeeze of grapefruit. Literally just a squeeze because I don't want the cream to curdle. In goes my squeeze, and now it's time to blend this up. Okay, so I'm done. Now I have to plate up. I am finally done cooking up my iftari menu today, and I am so happy because it took me ages and I put a lot of thought into it, and I can't wait to wash away all my stresses with that fantastic drink. But before I start with that, let's begin over here with the appetizer, which is my amazing chickpea salad. Now what I've done is that I kept the vinaigrette separate from the chickpea salad so it wouldn't wilt all the things that went in. The onions would sort of acidulate on their own, so therefore the cooking process begins with onions going into the vinaigrette so their pungency goes away. Now, it's a fantastic idea to serve up a lovely chickpea salad because A, we don't have chickpeas in this way. Usually they're in, you serve chanas with tamarind, or they're in a chaat, and it's very, very spicy. This is different, it's light, it has a lot of different, variants. It's got basically artichokes in there, some pineapple, it's sweet, it's tangy, and it's a diverse fusion of flavors. Now, coming to my main course, which are glorious little beef medallions. Now, I made a green sort of herb spice mix. I used a lot of traditional spices. I used olive oil and sesame oil to bring together, a fusion bridge of flavor. And with that, I've managed to maintain a fantastic green look to this dish. Also, another thing that, these are usually medallions you can get from different cuts of beef. For example, if you have undercut left over in your freezer, just take it out, make them into some somewhat round shapes and fry them up. Super quick, super fast, and again, healthy as well. And finally, that which is not healthy and which is very, very heavy, but is very well deserved, is dessert. And today I have a condensed milk bake, which is sort of a scam really, because I took a little pound cake I had left over, some condensed milk, popped some dry fruit on top and baked it in the oven, and then gave it lots of lashings of condensed milk at the end, which I thought is just a boon, it's just a bonus to, really, really make my day. It's perfect, and of course, yes, it's not utterly healthy, but a little bit goes a long way, and your kids will love it and your guests will love it because we just love to eat sweet things. And finally, my fantastic drink, my fusion pineapple lassi. A little yogurt, a little cream, some pineapple tidbits, blitzed up with a dash of grapefruit, and it's a light, lovely, sweet, refreshing drink. I did add a little bit of sugar to it, and of course, if you don't want to do that, you can put in an artificial sweetener or some of the juice from the pineapple tin. Same thing, you just add a little sweet to this. And why I created this drink is because I had a lot of tangy sour stuff going on in my appetizer. I had a very hot and warm main course, something very sweet on the side, so something light, refreshing, sweet yet tangy to wash it all down with. But now that's enough of me talking about it. I'm going to go outside and put my feet up, and I suggest you do the same. Remember, if you want to see me fuse something or have any comments, write in on fusion@dawnnews.tv. From me, until next time, take care.